morning, everybody, and welcome to Hump Day. Welcome to NVIDIA Earnings Day. It is Wednesday, November the 20th. It is just fractionally after 4 a.m. on the East Coast. European markets are now open and trading, the UK as well, and got a nice little UK guys. UK members will get a kick out of it. Little clip for you at the end of the video today. Futures are fractionally up. We are up about 140 points over there on the Dow, 60 points over on the NQ, 17 points over on the ES, and 7.8, call it 8 points over there on the Russell 2000. Nothing really spectacular to look at. I'm going to actually stick with the charts before going on to the spreadsheets today because just looking at the structure of the move to the downside and that massive little sell-off that we had prior to the open yesterday, where all the indexes were greater than minus 1% overnight because of that nuclear threat that came out just around 4 o'clock in the morning, 24 hours ago. And the structure of the bounce coming off of that low into yesterday, it just doesn't look nice. Now, as you can see here on the YM, we will zoom in here. We're not yet to that, resistance area that we were working on Friday and Monday, but we're pretty damn close. Move over here onto the NQ. The NQ are needing to zoom out to get this looking right. The NQ with the major move down on Friday, looking very much like an ABC back bounce over here into Monday, and then that big move to the downside again there yesterday, which again, the structure doesn't necessarily look as bearish as people would want it to look. But we're right over here. We're right over to Friday's sell-off. We're right to Friday's sell-off. So it is a really questionable point of view heading into, obviously, NVIDIA earnings. And they're over here looking back to a week prior, the Wednesday after Donald Trump won the election, and we're just sitting there right on where our support level were. So it's right there, that 2865 over here on the NQ. Look over here on the ES, the same structure, zoom out. And again, that move to the downside and that lower low that took out the lows from Friday could be that you've got your 5 waves. Very well could be. We've got our 5 waves down over on the ES, which we don't have on the SPX. But again, we're right over here to this big litmus test area, 59.55. You can see over here your support going back there to last week Wednesday after Donald Trump won. They had the big move up, and then your little dip over here overnight. And right over here to your support levels before we broke down there going into Friday after the sell-off on, what was that, Thursday last week. So a lot of questions to be asked as far as going into anything with an enormously large position size. And you come over here, I think this is the 5-day. No, this is the 10-day. So I've got the 10-day here on the Russell 2000 futures. And having essentially filled the entire Trump gap, this one looks the worst, really, the Russell 2000, which was supposed to be the golden child of a Trump victory. But yeah, again, we're not yet to those Friday highs, but we're damn close. But again, the structure of everything that we've got going on here just doesn't look gorgeous. That's basically what I could say. So over here, looking at yesterday, you don't see the lower lows that we had overnight because literally within 30 minutes prior to the opening bell, they bought 30 points up. But what we were looking at was that plus 1% level. We're also looking at that 5905, 5909 area, which was the overnight highs, was also where you had your resistance there on Monday. And right here in this yellow dot was where I threw out that risk trade, looking at the 58.95, 58.90 calls in a bearish position, $3.50, $4. And it looked good. Looked good going in there to lunch. Looked good how we were getting a little bit of a dip there into lunch, right around 12:30. Looked good, looked good. And then that was it. Now, having how many times was it posted? I think I'm not even going to look at the count, but as I kept mentioning yesterday, 59.16 is still very much in play. 59.16 is still very much in play. The 5-day moving average being above it, above it, above it. Well, 59.16 damn sure got into play. We went directly to the 5-day moving average, adjusted now, but roughly it was right there, 59.21. And then you move back down. And again, it looked as if going into that final hour of the day, the 2:30 algorithm, you might actually get something there to move back down below that 58.90. But, as you see, you just floated softly to the right and closed right below 59.16. So what do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Well, we'll start out here with what we got. We've got 2 green closes in a row. Nice little recovery after the sell-off last week on OPEX week. We are back in the 5900s, 59.1698, where we wound up closing yesterday. On the spreads, again, failed on that $4. Even though I put there in the email, about the bullish put credit spread, man, that shit did not look good yesterday. But hey, they worked out, and that happens. There was your nukes. Today, I do not see plus 1%. I don't see it. 59.76, no fucking way. 59.49, that is where your gap fills completely after the sell-off and the gap down there on Friday. So that is on your upside warning level. And just quickly going on to the QQQ with 2 big green closes in a row on very, very low volume. No plus 1%, no minus 1% as of yesterday. So again, sitting in limbo, having gotten right back to that 503. 503.33, 503.95, 503.46. IWM, again, I got nothing good to say about IWM other than the fact that you're starting to get very strong resistance right there at your 230, 231 level. So before we move on, seeing as how the futures are here at 59.3340, I want to bring to your attention, for those of you who are not aware of how it all works, this being the NASDAQ, or call it the QQQ, and the 100 companies that are involved in the NASDAQ, NVIDIA is your top weight, 8.69%. One stock weighs 8.69%. So again, we will break out the electronic abacus and just do a little bit of math here for you, where you've got NVIDIA at 8.69%. Okay? We will hit plus. As you have Apple there at 8.53%, we will hit plus. And then you've got your Microsoft there at 7.69%, and we will hit plus. These 3 stocks comprise 25% of QQQ. Let's add in Amazon, 5.3. Forget AVGO, Broadcom. I just don't include it. We will include Meta, 4.8. I messed up. 25 was what the first one was. Call it 5.3. Nope. 35, and we will add Tesla, plus 3.87. And you have 39% of the QQQ is NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, and Tesla. 6 names. Add in Alphabet, add in Netflix. You're damn close to 45% of the entire QQQ comprised in just those 8 names. Over on the S&P 500, being that it as well is a weighted index. Apple weighs almost 7%. NVIDIA, fractionally below it, almost 7%. And Microsoft, very much below it, at 6.19%. But once again, breaking out the digital abacus, 6.95 plus 6.91 plus 6.19. 20% of the S&P 500 are these 3 names. These 3 names. You got another, call it 6% right there with Amazon and Meta. Add in Google, add in Tesla. There's your other 3. 30% of the S&P 500 is just these 7 names. That's why they call them the Magnificent So 59.3150 is where we were at, and from here I will bring you on to quickly go over the charts and get you on to your day. On the SPX, again, not necessarily, could be, not knowing, don't know, and again with the full moon, 601-731 having happened on Monday, and the full moon window actually opening on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday your full moon, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday today, and then the full moon window closing, that being plus or minus 3 days of the actual full moon date. I'm having to look at this with an asterisk at the all-time highs, 601-731 from a week ago Monday, which I've only had to do once or twice in the past. So I'm still leaning very strongly towards the bias that the full moon is placing a low, not that it placed a high. The full moon will be placing a low, that being having occurred here on Friday at 58.53. Does not mean that we will not go lower today or lower tonight overnight, but that's the way that I'm leaving. So the way I'm looking at this here is that was your A, this was your B, and we are on to the C to place the 4. And then we would get a wave 5 to the downside. We don't have it, and once again, I am not leaning to the bearish side, looking to get overexposed to the downside with NVIDIA reporting earnings tonight. No way in hell am I suggesting or even anticipating that. What you have here is your 50 retracement with the 38.2 having been accomplished there at 59.16, right here at 59.35. Right at 59.35 is your 50 retracement, and that's where we're at right now. Your 10-day moving average being there at 59.50, dropping down, so call it 59.45. That will completely fill your gap. Your gap that was created over here back on November 7th, and your gap that was created here back on Thursday of last week. Almost essentially a floating top. So that is your upside, and again, I can show you 10 different ways that this heads up there. I can show you 10 different ways that it doesn't go up there. Today's NVIDIA's earnings, so it is what it is, and that's what it is. But again, over here with your gap, 59.35.16 being your 50 retracement, I would not be expecting to see us trading greater than 59.35 with any type of momentum whatsoever, considering where we're at. Over on your VIX, 1622, broke it down yesterday morning, kept coming back to it, went into it into the close, and now here we are again resisting on 1622. As long as we're here at the 1622, there is a risk of that S&P move to the downside, down back into that 58.90, down into that 58.65 area. Overnight lows were not touched during the regular market trading session. These were down at 59.30, 59.35. So there is a risk. However, you come over onto your QQQ, and your QQQ is saying, what risk? There is no risk. We're going to the upside. Stop talking about downside risk. Over on your IWM, once again, not looking spectacular. However, you are at least above that 230, so that you can try and test 230 for support. On your DIA, DIA showed up proud as can be. Sell it off into the open yesterday, and the bounce and the recovery never actually making it back to where we got started to overnight. Looking over here at your sell-off into Friday, into the bottom. So again, you are at another very strong pivot point to be concerned about. Over here on NVIDIA, here's your fake print. Here's your results overnight, virtually touching your 148 with earnings coming out after the close today.
Rocco!
No, I do not advocate being in a position for earnings. However, the NVIDIA trade itself having mentioned it and having shared it, and your move from roughly $3 to roughly above $4.50 is roughly, in any world of mathematics, 50% return in the course of a day. Target will be reporting earnings today. Target is nothing whatsoever like Walmart. Target is the piece of shit jalopy. 176.51. Pray to God that you see that so that you can get short, but I would not hold my breath on Target. And leaving off here with the Russell 2000, making it up there, I will put on my default. Yep. Right above that 23.13.56, 23.36 being your major resistance on the upside. That will be your focus as far as what you're dealing with today. If you are going to be looking to do the call credit spreads on the Russell, 23.35.91 being your pivot, 23.35, 23.40 being the strike combo that you would want to be looking at. So happy Wednesday, happy hump day, happy NVIDIA day, happy enjoy being in traffic and screaming and hollering at other people that don't know how to drive day.
Head in the west and I'm banging a push bird. Couple of cans and a puff on me death stick. Click on my fingers, he's cutting me cough dead. Ringing the barbells, bringing the website. I'm flinging the dry food, bringing the cassette. They're belling me non-stop, sending the lads there. Hopping me drop top, I'm running the man day. Mr. Big Bucks, I'll be looking at business. Dressed to kill, mama got me up on a Rick list. Pole position, had a fella running the distance. I'll be banging, giving the triplets. The bigger the bag, the bigger the butt crack. The bigger the chance the birds up in my contacts. The figure's a big deal, a pen on the contract. So me up, baby, give a tip when it's up there. And I've been whipping a wire, puffing a Benson, pushing a pack, the full stack like a benching, giving the fish scale that slide like a penguin, flipping the chick on my bills, why fuck a pension. Slow mo vision, I've been puffing the peace pipe, selling free fires to the fiends by the seaside. On my tail lines and the seams of my Levi's, with a stack figure the Nicki Minaj we heard. And I'ma tell her how she sing for me T-Pain. Your mama's hooked on the packs, I'll be selling her. I click Amazon, bang, I'm a not saying. I feel his head with the lead like a mukbang. The magazine made me lean when I walk in the drumstick, I'm making that bang like a punk band. Hop in the cab, I'm banging me crossword up. Head in the west and I'm banging a push bird. Couple of cans and a puff on me death stick. Click on my fingers, he's cutting me cough dead. Ringing the barbells, bringing the website. I'm flinging the dry food, bringing the cassette. They're belling me non-stop, sending the lads there. Hopping me drop top, I'm running the man day. Mr. Big Bucks, I'll be looking at business. Dressed to kill, mama got me up on a Rick list. Pole position, had a fella running the distance. I'll be banging, giving the triplets. The bigger the bag, the bigger the butt crack. The bigger the chance the birds up in my contacts. The figure's a big deal, a pen on the contract. So me up, baby, give a tip when it's up there. And I've been whipping a wire, puffing a Benson, pushing a pack, the full stack like a benching, giving the fish scale that slide like a penguin, flipping the chick on my bills, why fuck a pension. Slow mo vision, I've been puffing the peace pipe, selling free fires to the fiends by the seaside. On my tail lines and the seams of my Levi's, with a stack figure the Nicki Minaj we heard.